Does your dog walk you? Are they pulling you down the street like this? Well, if you're looking to change that, then you've come to the right video. I'll be telling you about a couple of my favorite tools that have helped me with training my dogs to behave better on walks. The first thing that I'm going to tell you about is a harness. Now, there are multiple types of harnesses. My personal favorite is any of the ones that attach the leash to the back of your dog, because if your dog is trained to be on a harness, this is the best way for them to be safe if the need arises to put pressure onto the harness. Because if you put pressure on the collar, they have trouble breathing and you risk collapsing their esophagus. There are also harnesses that have you attach the leash to the front of your dog. Personally, I don't like this one because the placement of the harness puts pressure on their shoulders and can cause long-term joint damage. The next training tool I will talk about is the prong collar. This tool has many different versions, such as the adjustable, the slip, and the small prong. The adjustable prong is the one I recommend because you're able to adjust it to sit in the correct position on your dog's neck using the clip that lets you adjust the size, which the slip prong collar doesn't do and is loose to slip over your dog's head, and then it sits in the incorrect position on their neck. And since it's going over their head, you risk poking your dog's face, such as their eyes or ears. The small prong is specifically designed for short-haired dogs, and it is just like an adjustable prong with the clip for sizing, and the only difference is the size of the prongs, being much shorter because they don't need to go through a dense coat. Now, I just previously talked about how collars aren't good for walking dogs because it puts too much pressure on their throats and esophagus. So why would this collar be any different? Well, as you have seen, this collar has prongs going all around the collar that face in towards their neck. They aren't sharp, so they don't harm your dog. The prongs evenly distribute the pressure around your dog's neck so that it's not only focused on their throat. Now, for the proper placement of this collar on your dog's neck, it should be just under the jaw of your dog because any lower and the equalizing of the pressure on their neck won't work, and this will act just as another collar. Now, for the last training tool, I will tell you about the e-collar, or as you may know it as, the shock collar, which I know sounds like a torture device. However, when it is used correctly, it can be a very effective and useful training tool. Now, first things first, when using this tool, you have to implement other techniques as well, like treats and positive reinforcement. That's because this tool is used to somewhat reprimand your dog, so if it's the only thing you're using, your dog may become fearful. So it must go hand in hand with some positive reinforcement that your dog enjoys, such as treats, or some dogs prefer their favorite toy as their reward, or even a game of tug-of-war. Another thing to keep in mind is that this collar isn't just to shock your dog. It can also make a beeping noise as well as give a couple of vibrations. So you must learn your dog and what will work for them. For me personally, having used this on 3 of my dogs, none of them have had the need for the shock. It also isn't for everyone or every dog. With that being said, to use it, you have a remote that you can adjust the settings and press the button for when you want the collar to beep, vibrate, or shock. You must time it as closely as possible to when your dog does the undesired behavior. So, to go over everything that I've said in this video, I talked about how to use a harness and which ones can harm your dog, as well as the same things with prong collars, how to use them and which ones are safe to use. And lastly, I went over the safety and the need of a shock collar, and that they aren't for every handler and dog, that you also have to use them hand in hand with a reward system. Thanks for watching!